Good morning, it's Baz at GotAUkulele.com with another beginner's tip video. Some time ago I did an article on the website about how to deal with buzzes and rattles on ukuleles. Reading on social media lately, it would appear that that message has not gone out there particularly well, because there is some truly terrible advice telling people to jump straight in and start making major adjustments to the instruments. That article is linked in the bottom below the video here and approaches this issue in a logical way. I'd urge you to go through this point by point and rule out the easy before you worry about the difficult. Buzzes can occur for a variety of reasons. You can have a brand new instrument arrive with a bad setup and find that the strings are buzzing. If that's the case, I would suggest you take it back to the dealer and return it. But instruments of all ages can suddenly start buzzing and rattling because these are made of wood, and environmental conditions can change with the tension and create buzzes that weren't there before. It can literally happen overnight. It's perfectly normal, don't worry about it. So these are my points, step by step, that I'd suggest you go through. First of all, maybe it's nothing to do with the ukulele at all. Maybe it's your technique. If you hammer the strings at low end positions, you can create buzzes because the strings vibrate overly. Calm it down a little bit. Another common cause for buzzing is bad finger technique with the fretting hand. If you're not fretting straight down and clean, you can mute off on other strings. If you're not holding the strings down fully enough, you can create buzzes. You need to eliminate that before you start worrying about fiddling with the ukulele. Second option, maybe it's nothing to do with the strings. I've seen buzzes on ukuleles created by loose bolts on tuners, loose tuning pegs, string coils like these, which I'm terrible at, loose bracing on the inside of the ukulele, loose strap buttons, loose doors for battery compartments, for pickups, all of that kind of thing can rattle. You put some resonance into the instrument and they rattle. Check all of those before you do anything else. Having checked that, next point, we move on to the strings. Can you isolate the buzz to a particular string? If you can, take that string off and restring it the other way around. Strings age with time and they create flat spots which can make them bottom out on the frets basically and create a buzz. Sometimes by swapping the string over on its length, you can move the flat spot to a different point, say down to here, and stop the buzzing. It's still an indication that you probably need to change all the strings, but I'd certainly try that first. Swap the string over on its length or swap the individual string. Next option, change all of the strings. Before you get down to the more serious issues with the ukulele, which are going to require physical adjustment, you really want to change the strings to rule those out before you do anything else. Strings are fairly cheap. If that doesn't solve the problem and you still get buzzing, keep the strings you took off, you can use them again, but change the strings. Still got buzzing? We now need to look at the more difficult ones to fix. First of all, the action at the saddle. Most ukuleles have a white plastic saddle here sat inside a wooden mounting that holds the strings at an optimum height above the fingerboard. If that is too low, the strings will bottom out on the frets and start to buzz. The simple answer here, take the strings off, remove the white saddle and raise it up by putting a shim of thin paper or cardboard or wood veneer or something below the saddle, keeping it completely flat, to raise it up a fraction of a millimeter. If that doesn't do it, try and raise it up a little bit more. Maybe that will solve your problem. So that deals with the saddle. Next option, the difficult one. If you've got buzzing at this end of the ukulele because the nut is too low, that's a difficult one to raise. Some ukuleles, when you take the strings off, you can gently tap that nut out and then put something underneath it and refit it, like a little shim like you did at the saddle. But a lot of ukuleles these days, you find you can't remove that nut and it's kind of painted over or glued in securely. This is a difficult one. What you can do is grind up some old saddle blank plastic into a powder, mix it with some super glue with a cocktail stick and fill in those slots and then recut them. But we're now getting into stuff that is quite difficult to do, and I would only really suggest you do that if you are absolutely sure and competent with what you're doing. And that's really the last one that I'd recommend that anybody at home can fix themselves. If you've still got buzzing after checking all of those things, something more serious is going on. You've got a distortion in the ukulele, the neck has started to bend, the neck has started to twist, the bridge is dipping, something like that. That can happen to instruments. If it happened on a brand new instrument, certainly I'd take it back. But that is really something where you're going to need to revert to a luthier to help you with, and it may be fatal. It may be the end if you've got that sort of a problem. Some ukuleles have truss rods that run through the neck, which can be adjusted to change the neck bend. They're quite rare. Some advice I saw this morning suggested that that's the only way to fix buzzing, which is absolute nonsense because most ukuleles don't have truss rods. If you have got a truss rod, that may help you. If you haven't, you've got something more serious going on. So really, that's all it really can be. Work from the simple to the difficult. Isolate the simple out of the equation before you worry about taking the ukulele to pieces and starting to adjust things, because in 95% of times, in my experience, buzzing is caused by the simple stuff, like a bit of finish loose on the ukulele, like a tuner button loose, or a bad string. And you don't need to worry about anything else if it's one of those. They're simple to fix, they're cheap to fix. Go through the steps one by one. I hope that helps you. If you've got having a problem, keep an eye on GotAUkulele.com for more beginners tips and lots of instrument reviews coming soon. Take care, everyone.